Yo, 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 yo. I'm just doing this really quickly. I don't know if anybody will pull up or not. I'm just doing. I didn't really send out no like crazy jump off or anything like that to join the stream. So if you do pop in and you are a person that's going to go live, um, let me know if it's lagging. So I'm trying out this new camera or whatever. So I have a new camera. Well, actually, it's pretty old. I done had it for a minute. But I'm trying to figure out in the chat if I can get some comments here of those who are listening to the conversation, and let me know if this is lagging. I'm trying to sync it up to a point where it will catch up, but I don't know if we have a live stream, if it's going to be a situation where it's a little choppy. So what I want y'all to do is just tap in with me really quickly. Are you good? What's up, man? No lag, nothing. You can, my mouth and the words are synced up well. Y'all good? Just trying to figure it out a little bit. Ice says, no, you good? Okay. Oh, it looks and sounds fine. Awesome. Let me give you guys this. I wanted to jump on here really quickly. I'll probably go ahead and I'll probably go ahead and probably just make this a really blog since I'm on here now. I'm gonna just give y'all something. For me, I just put out a series of tweets, right? And I think there's a lot of Browns fans and a lot of individuals out there. A lot of these guys are a little bit upset, right? I think a lot of people is upset with what I just dropped on the internet, but I'm really confused as to why people are figuring out like, oh, well, we've done some things on the defensive side of the football, and we've gotten the guys we have. And I've been on record, and I said, listen, I'm gonna give them a B minus for it, B and a B if those guys kind of pan out. So all of that is good. All of that is fine and dandy. Trust me, I'm gonna start by saying that. Kudos to you for fixing the defensive line. I'll be doing some blogs later on this week talking about the situation with the blogs and the defensive tackle and the defensive ends and some of the guys they brought in, that have been guys that they're going to plug and play. But for some reason, there's this sense of, I don't know, malaise, like with some fans. And it's like, oh, like we have to have blind faith in the front office and in AB we trust. And, for me, I don't quite understand that. I think some of the Browns fans and some of the media, they got this cycle that we do every single year. And if you don't ever point out the cycle, you'll continue on perpetuating it forever. This is the cycle. So we go into the season and we underachieve. We don't use our playmakers or utilize our playmakers. And then in the offseason or during the middle of the season, we say and we point out how our receivers can't catch the ball, how our rookies can't stay healthy, how people can't get open. It seems like we have no down the field vertical threat. And then we'll identify that, right? And then you'll go into the offseason, and then the front office will say, they'll give you the company line. Well, we need to do this. We need to be better. We need to do this. We need to do that, right? And then we fall for it again. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, that's great. So then you go into the free agency and you're conservative. Now, when I say you go into free agency and you're conservative, what I'm saying that you're conservative about is you have to get all the above done. People, this is the bed you laid in. Last year, when I said you didn't bring any linebackers in, last year when I said it wasn't enough to come in here with Schwartz and some of these other guys, a rookie, and expect them to play top-notch football to get you over the top. I told you that Jordan Elliott and Tommy told you I needed another veteran defensive lineman in there and that Taven Bryan wasn't the guy that needed to be moving around. I've told you all of these things. Now we get to this season, and yes, Andrew Berry has done a good job of filling some of those pieces. And if some of those guys like Hill and Hurst turn out to get over their injuries, it's going to be great, right? They'll be good. But let's be clear, people. Let's be really concise about this. That ain't talking about nothing. You got to do multiple things. We have these expectation levels that since you fix one position, now we all good. Well, just wait and be patient. Free agency ain't over yet, G. Bush. There's still some guys. There may be some moves that they haven't got into. Maybe they haven't really turned over just be patient. Don't be don't be overzealous. What are you talking about? Don't you see the money they spent? And I can always tell people, if your child came home and the year before he had 3 Fs, and he comes back the next year and you say, I need you to pick that up. You have 3 Fs. He does pick the 1 up and he turns that into a C, but he's still got them 2 other Fs. Are you going to say that's acceptable? No. You want him to clean up the 1 F. That's great. You turn that to a C. But these other ones, I need to see improvement on that as well. I don't understand how people can live in society, live in the real world, and live in workplaces and really be grown adults, but not understand what I'm saying here in terms of how you build a team in a business. We have yearly reviews every year. In your job, what you do, you are evaluated. Every single year you will get an evaluation. Your children are placed under evaluation. They evaluate you at the end of each grade. And if you don't reach those evaluations, you got a couple options. You either go to summer school and bring the grades up, or you get held back. Now, if an 8-year-old has to deal with them consequences, why is it that y'all can't understand it when it comes to grown men in football? I like Andrew Berry. I think he does a good job. I'm an African American. I want to see everybody. I think there needs to be more African Americans that get opportunities, that have an opportunity to do it at the highest level. But I'm not a person, and nor should anybody be, an individual that has blind allegiance. And I'm not saying that we got blind allegiance, but what I'm saying is you should have enough gumption to think through some of this stuff and say, I got enough energy and maturity to go pick by pick by pick. I got enough energy and maturity to understand that, yes, you fixed the defensive line, but your job's not finished. So when you say, gee, what are you talking about? Why would you even say anything? Because there's a glaring need there. And by the way, I'm talking about the sense of urgency. I'm talking about the sense of urgency and getting it done. Don't act like it was Cooks, Brandin Cooks or bust. Like, I'm not even like, it's an opportunity. I think what really got people in sort of a twisted knot is because you're now seeing what the asking price for these guys are. Before we were told, oh, they trying to get a first, third, and you can't get that off, and now you at the Cowboys for a 5th and a 6th? Boy, what? What? A little 5th and a 6th? And I get it. Some people will say the natural progression is, you know what? That is a 5th and a 6th, G. Bush. That's a 5th and a 6th, but it wasn't about the picks. It was all about the money that they owed him. He would have got $12 million this year and $18 million the next year. Well, let me just be clear with you guys. Again, I've been super clear and consistent. Every single time I jump on this microphone, I've been consistent about it. I told you this was going to happen. Go back and listen to my blogs. I told them about the type. See, when you they got behind the chains. Let me explain this to you. You got behind the chains. You say, what does that mean, G. Bush? When you are a new team, a new organization, when you are a new regime, you have to stay above the sticks. And if you refuse to do certain things to be in the now, you will pay later. You are a year late on everything. I'll give you an example, right? Let's talk about it. So we'll go way back to Odell Beckham Jr., right? We'll go way back to Odell Beckham Jr. Let me prove this to you. If the Cleveland Browns thought Odell Beckham Jr. was washed up and no good when they traded him, then why would they go to his pro day and be interested today? You name me a team that say you're a locker room cancer. We don't want you on our team. You moved them on. Go. We think you good anymore. But then why would you come after injury and be at his pro day and be one of the guys on one of the teams that are there, if you listen to reporting, for Odell Beckham Jr.? They're admitting to you right there that they made a mistake. They're admitting to you what the real problem was. That is your short quarterback who wasn't able to get people the ball, who is now on his fourth team. That was the problem. And you see, when you choose wrong, pretty soon you don't have anybody else to blame. So you got rid of Odell. He went over to the Rams, and guess what he did? He won a Super Bowl. Now, people, they will minimize it. Well, he had Cooper Kupp. Well, he wasn't doing much. Well, he had a couple catches. See how you rationalize that? If he was no good, the Cleveland Browns wouldn't be looking at him today. Baker Mayfield was the issue. So then you were late on Baker Mayfield. You kept Baker. He was hurt the whole year. And instead of pulling the trigger and being a man about what you're going to be about, you should have told Baker, listen, this ain't your team. This is not your team. When Case Keenum won that game in Denver, won that game, and he talked about Pittsburgh is coming here, and he tells the media, I'm going to play when I feel like I'm going to play. It's up to me. That's how we going to move. I'm healthy. If I'm healthy, I'm going to go out there. And then he went out there and proceeded to play like crap for the rest of the season. And then on the last game of the season, he miraculously says, you know what, let me just check with my my team. I don't know if I could play today. And to a man, I can tell you this. Y'all see, it's a lot of people out there that think I just be up here playing around and talking. You know how many players I talked to in that locker room and I didn't have to go looking for them? You know how many people pulled up on me and said, listen, don't nobody want to play with him. See what I'm saying? This is facts. They DM me and my DM, multiple guys on that roster said what they said. So when I was saying all this 2-3 years ago, guess what? You couldn't tell me I wasn't right. But I just leave it alone. I don't break stories. That's why I laughed when people talk about he's a cancer, he do. Listen, you don't got no sources like that, bro. These media dudes be killing me with this, bro. It be cap. Now let's keep it moving. You waited to get rid of Baker too long, and then you cost us a season. We wasted that season, right? Then this happens this year with the Deshaun Watson situation. I told you last year, you should have been looking at pieces and parts to make sure that you could be competitive. But you know what they did? They wasted people's prime of their career because they said, we got Deshaun Watson. He suspended 11 games. How's about we genuinely punt on this year? How's about we punt and waste people's time this year? Oh, we don't need receivers. Just come with the young guys. We'll be back next year. Oh, we don't need a Dominican Sue or none of those guys. Just come with Togiai and Taven Bryan and some of these other cats and see how that worked out. Oh, yeah, we got Dick Chubb, but, that's the only guy we got on our squad. But we're going to put him in a pitch count. What do you think? I talked to people in that locker room. What you think they said? I ain't about to do this. I'm about it here. They got to prove something to me. I'm not about to do this. I'm not. And it was unsolicited. I wasn't in their DMs. I didn't go searching for nobody. I wasn't in no press conferences. This is willingly giving up. Hey, bro, you be right, man. Blah, blah, blah. You be right. We don't even be going down like that. And you punted on all last year, and then you ended up in the basement. Now, let me ask you a question. Why would I not have this urgency when you just finished in the basement to a team in Pittsburgh that had Mitch Trubisky and Cody Pickett? And you in last place? But in AB, we trust. No. You know what I trust is results. Nothing against you. It's the results. So guess what? They still ended up, they do everything a year too late. When I told you during the middle of the season, you should have got rid of Joe Woods, you waited to the end of the season. You say, well, what reason does that matter, G. Bush? He got fired anyway. No. Because the people that's looking at him in the locker room are saying, you trying to hold us accountable. Obviously, it was the coach. Obviously, he doesn't know what he's doing. So you losing credibility as the season rolls along, because if I'm playing there and I know my coach is not able to get us to where we need to go, and I'm busting my tail every week, I'm logging it away. First opportunity I got, trade me. First opportunity, because you know what? You don't respect my prime. That's the problem with us. The problem with us is in Cleveland, our standards is on some other type stuff. These other teams is out there. You know, I'll commend the Jets. You know the difference between the Jets and the Browns is they figured out that their short quarterback wasn't no good 2 years before we did. They did a good job of saying, you'll never play again. We need to get better. While we were sitting there making all kind of excuses and doing backflips and doing all that other stuff and trying to figure out if he didn't have a shoulder, maybe. That's the difference between us and them. Everybody else is making moves. Think about it. Think about this. The Panthers traded their best players. They traded Christian McCaffrey in the middle of the season. And they still was almost better than you. So now you're behind the 8 ball because now we sit here and you got players with expectation levels. You got a rising age of a roster. And because you didn't do anything last year, you don't even have anything in the pipeline that you wouldn't even have to go out and get. See, you need 2 receivers. But if you would have got one last year, because David Bell and Schwartz wasn't giving you nothing, or Woods, or whoever the case may be, you would have only needed to get 1 receiver this year. But you punted. Maybe if you would have got a defensive tackle that was serviceable, that could come in and spot, and you find a diamond in the rough last year, then this year you don't need to sign 8 defensive tackles because you got a couple of them. So these are the consequences, and I want to say thank you, my brother. Let me get back up to this, man. I didn't even see I had a super chat. I wasn't even on it. William Wise, man. Definition of insanity. Thank you so much for the super chat. I wouldn't even come in here tonight for that. I was shaking my microphone, but why I had to do it, I said, let's go ahead and get to this. Because I'm going to just keep it real. So now we need receivers, and people's like, well, you can't do everything in 1 year. Well, you can't. That's the point. When you are a regime and you get in somewhere, you don't get an opportunity to punt. When you are a regime, you come in and win now. You come in and do everything you can to win football games today. And so, yes, these are delayed consequences for your inaction last year. And you have to wear that. It is what it is. So I don't care how you get it done. Are you going to have to overpay a receiver? Maybe. Is he not going to be the youngest guy in the world? Maybe. Is he going to have some creative signing bonus restructure in a year or two? Maybe. But that's part of the game. That is where you are today. Because believe it or not, you got 6 games. And I've been consistent on that from Jump Street. The way you've handled certain things, now you're behind the 8 ball. You got to perform. And so, yeah, I'm going to be a little alarmed when I see Cooks off the board for a 5 and a 6. Yes, I'm going to be slightly alarmed when I'm looking around like, okay, well, the Jets got a couple people. Huh? Well, let's see who's left on this list. Let me see this list. But dang, they ain't even got him. When you get to a point where Josh Gordon and OBJ is the only dudes left on the board, I'm kind of nervous. I'm sorry, dog. And you say, well, G. Bush, we can still make a trade. Yeah, we can. But did you have to wait to the last moment to get it done? I hope he gets it done. Let me get to some of these comments. Let me get to a couple comments. Let me get here. Brown _ Tiger. I don't know how to say that last part. What you think? You think we get D Hop? Sure. Do something. Do like that's my thing. For me, I'm all about action. Like you can there's a thing where everybody wants to sit back, and I think fantasy football to mess people up so much. I think fantasy football is really turned everybody into obnoxious analysts, pencil pushers that really don't know what's really reality. We can all sit here and prognosticate, and people really think that they get extra credit. People want to get the bottom of the barrel price, but they want to say they want to reserve the right to say, look what I found. Look at this right here. Look at this diamond in the rough over here. This guy wasn't even on the map nowhere else. Found me a diamond in the rough. You don't get extra credit points like that. Everybody want to get the mediocre dude, the guy that ain't really off the beaten path, the guy that is underrated, and you want to applaud yourself on these conservative, savvy signings, like you are going to be the GM in your keeper league. This ain't your keeper league, dog, because the reality of it is you don't get extra credit points for that. So you can be conservative all you want, but you got 6 games. And I don't want to hear, well, Deshaun got hurt. Well, we didn't have an offseason with all the people together. Well, we're trying to set up a new, all that. Listen, no. All that went out the doggone window when I'm watching the Cincinnati. Listen. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And people want to, this is the reality check, because it happens every single offseason. They give you something, throw you a few bones. We gonna get some people. They don't get no people. They go into the offseason. You drink the Super Bowl Kool-Aid, and then you 7-11. And then you go back to the same old circle. Old circle. Every single time. And this is facts. I'm asking people out there. I did it on my radio show. I'm doing it now. I did it on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I did it on UCSS, Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I've done it on Locked On Browns. I ask the question to every single person when I go down the road of talking about receivers. I ask them, if you don't like him, who do you want? Watch this. Ask these people. Ask them. Nobody is talking like this. Everybody got these talking points that they just regurgitate because somebody said it. Mention a receiver, and I guarantee you they come up with a reason why the Browns don't need him. I got the greatest hits. Jerry Jeudy. Well, G. Bush, he was injured one year, and he hasn't really broken out. He's under 1,000 yards. Actually, to be truthful, Donovan Peoples-Jones is really a guy that's the caliber of his. And then we're going to have to pay him an extension. Do we really want to pay him an extension of a guy who's a top 10 pick? See how that works? Who do you really want then? But if I guarantee if you go and pivot and say, well, Jedrick Wills ain't performed up to nothing, and they about to give him a 5th round. They about to give him an extension out the wazoo. Well, I think Jedrick will be fine. So you contorting. I can't make it up. Who do you really want? What about DeAndre Hopkins? Oh, well, he got suspended for 6 games. He's really not a down the field threat really like that. And I don't even know if he has anything left in the tank. I know he played with Watson, but I don't name me a receiver who's 31 and above that's done anything and really broke out, especially going to a new team. Devontae Adams. He had like 200 targets, 1,600. Devontae Adams did. Well, I'm just saying. Okay, well, who do you want? Adam Thielen. Oh, Listen, he's not even productive anymore. He doesn't have any quick switch. He's a slot receiver. You don't need him. And it's crazy because I don't even, and he had Justin Jefferson on the other side of him, Stephon Diggs on the other side of him. You know what? Why would we even need him? As a matter of fact, no, we don't. I'm a really knowing Adam Thielen. Okay. Well, who do you want then? You see a theme with this? Brandin Cooks. Well, the price tag is too high. I'm hearing that the Texans want a 2 and possibly a 3. Until it came out that they was giving up pennies on the dollar. A box of Cracker Jacks, a box of lifetime supply of sporks, and 3 fruit cups is what they got for Cooks. You go back and tell them, knock on the door. Hey, what? I thought the picks was outrageous. I thought that was what we were doing. I thought that was the reason. Well, G. Bush, it wasn't about 12 million. And then he's going to have 18 million left over with that. I think they're good. We could keep going. DJ Shark, he's in Detroit. I don't really trust those guys in Detroit. He's 26. I get it, but he's really hasn't been a number one receiver. Nobody said you needed a number one receiver. You want to keep going? We can do this all night. Odell Beckham Jr. I know it started off rough here a little bit. I just don't think I would hard to think that the organization is gonna. You know why? Because we suckers. And I finally realized why people do that. There's a lot of people. Don't take what I'm gonna say the right way, wrong way. There's go-getters in life, and there's this guys that wait for life to run them over. We know it's a fact in every single walk of life because it's very difficult to go for it. It's very difficult to be vocal, passionate, and put everything you got to go and getting to the top of the food chain and winning and being verbal about that. Because guess what? The downside of that is this. You might fail. And what's the only thing worse than failing? Failing in front of everybody. You said you were going to do this. And everybody said, well, you were wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong in the face of other friends and family and moving around. Nobody want that. Nobody really wants expectations. Everybody is comfortable with the mid. Because you can hide. You don't have to take the responsibility. There's no really downside to it. It's just human nature. I'm not talking to you out there personally. Somebody is mad right now. Somebody upset at me. Well, how dare you say that? There's always somebody complacent in their job who hate it. But they won't make no moves to go get it. There's always some people that hate their relationship. They know that person they with ain't good for them. And guess what? They don't have the heart and intestinal fortitude to say, no, I deserve better and I'll be by myself until I can't find better. There's some people that are willing to sink good money into old things that they need to purge. Oh, I had this, I had this old car since, what's the name? I had this old junker since 2006. There's so many great memories. You still holding on to them great memories instead of making new ones. You see, this is all human nature. It's all human nature because nobody wants to lose and to be vulnerable. They'd rather play it safe and at least have a blanket to lay on that says, I'm going to imagine that my future is going to be better than my past. That's why selling dreams. That's why people sell Ponzi schemes. That's why people is out here doing pyramid schemes. You know why? You would rather dream and love the exponential future instead of putting that work in, being vulnerable, being aggressive today. And the Cleveland Browns are the same. They have an opportunity each and every day to go out there and to get it done and to be aggressive and to put their mark on the Cleveland Browns organization. They have an opportunity every day to seize it and go for what the hell you know. Everything. everything into it. That's all I'm advocating for. I'm a fan just like the rest of you. But I'm also a fan that's tired of sitting around looking and watching other teams win. We sit here and it's like they lying to us a little bit, bro. They try to tell you it's harder than what it well is. They trying to make it seem like it's the hardest thing in the world to consistently be aggressive and to improve in a short period of time. I've watched the Jacksonville Jaguars with Urban Meyer go for one of the biggest dumpster fires, the biggest laughing stock of the league. He's in these bars. He's messing around. The players hate him, and he getting the number one pick. And I watched them with a new coach, with one off season, go to the doggone playoffs. And I sit here and people attack you because you say you want a receiver. I just saw Trevor Lawrence and freaking Arrowhead. Now we got Deshaun Watson. We got somebody that people been asking for forever. And if you're listening, Deshaun, if you're listening out there, you might want to step it up and that is start demanding what you need to get done. Because I want to talk to you real quick too. Because if you passive and you don't go to the table saying, I need this, and this, pretty soon they're going to turn on you too. It had already started. Baker Mayfield got the biggest leash in the world. That dude couldn't do no wrong. You ain't played in 3,000 days. And they telling you, I don't know if I would do the trade. I don't know if he's ever going to be right again. But yet still, we got guys saying and touting in this city that Baker's going to be transcended in Tampa Bay. You better read the writing on the wall, bro. Just a lot of cats. G. Bush, this is why you shouldn't be doing no blogs at night. You get the medicine in your system? You better wisen up because there's a lot of people that did not want Deshaun Watson here under any circumstances. Did not want him here under any circumstances. And these are the same people roundabout saying we don't need receivers. These people think y'all think y'all slick. You tried it. You think you're slick. Really? I see how this thing plays out. If you play bad this year, they're going to write you off. 230 million, 230. They keep saying the 230. Everybody and their mom like they was capologists. And didn't I say this? I told y'all before. Remember I told y'all? I said, salary cap's invisible. They can restructure anything they wanted to. Anything they want to restructure and get done in the creative math, I give them one credit for that. That's what they do well. Andrew Barry and them pencil pushers, these dudes, they are cold-blooded when it comes to that finance game. But let me keep it a buck with you, though. That was just a smoke screen anyway. I would have respected you if you just said, I just don't really care for Deshaun Watson. I'm going to kill it. It's personal reasons. I don't want to get into it, but I just didn't. I don't want to root for him. I would have respected you because of that. But there's dudes, it's dudes that think you're so naive and stupid that you don't see through the smoke screen when you vehemently, oh my gosh, 230. But then Daniel Jones got $45 million a year and nobody said a word. And then when they restructured his deal and had $50 million in cap space, everybody turned around and act like they didn't like complaining about the cap hit. So Deshaun, you don't gotta take my word for it. I'd be going to tell them guys behind the scenes, I need that person and that person. Because contrary to popular belief, even if you play semi-well next year, you're next up for the blame game. It all goes downhill. Started with OBJ, he's gone. Then went to Jarvis, get him up out of here. Then it went to Baker, peace out, homie. Then you got to Stefanski, he's on the hot seat. Barry on the hot seat. Guess what? Even if y'all start off slow and you're horrible, You'll still be here because we can't, we stuck. That's what you going to be here. But Stefanski and them will be gone, and then you will be the scapegoat. You will be the guy. So it's always better when you're starting a new job and negotiating what you want to do. I always tell my people and the business people, here's what you do. When you go into a new job, in the interview process, the first thing you're supposed to say is, what's in my budget for incentives? What control do I have over who I hire? What type of things do I get that we have for our people to make sure that they're happy in their job? What's the turnover rate? How many raises am I allowed to give within a year? Are there bonus monies that I could give out? What is the disciplinary process? How many days of vacation I'm going to get? All of those things you do up front. You know why you do it up front? So now you got the tools in your back pocket. So now they can't come back to you and say, well, you're underperforming. And then you go tell them, well, I really wanted to ask for money for bonuses. I really wanted to get some things done that would have helped. And they're going to say, well, it's too late now. You're on paperwork now. You should have negotiated that up front. Say I'm lying. Ain't nobody talking like this. Say I'm lying. We all know what it is. And so sometimes I call myself the Duke of knee-jerk. The Duke of knee-jerk reactions. And guess what? My knees got to shaking today because I don't think you're done. Finish your breakfast. You know your mom used to tell you when you trying to get up and run outside and you want a glass of Kool-Aid, she said, you better finish them vegetables and stop drinking all that juice. Finish your vegetables. You're doing a decent job right now. I like it. But we are not about to let you off the hook, Stefanski off the hook, Myles Garrett off the hook, D and Jimmy Haslam off the hook. Everybody needs to be all in, and all of this other stuff is unacceptable. You are the team that lost to the Jets and Joe Flacco. You are the team that refused to give Nick Chubb the ball in negative 40-degree weather and let Andy Dalton beat you. I'm going to remind you. These other people might not remind you because they go in there and they shake hands. Y'all might eat birthday cake together. And there's a lot of Brown fans that just like their uniforms and their colors, and they want to be, hey, if I'm optimistic, I get 17 likes. If I'm optimistic over the top, somebody else will validate it by saying, I'm going to like that. I don't give a damn about no likes. If I did give a damn about likes, I would say all flowery stuff, and I would pander to the Browns like some other people I know. I see, boy, it's too late for all that. Too late for that. Stop it. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm tired of the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Super Bowl while we sit at home and they lie like this is the hardest thing in the world to do. They drafted Jamar Chase, got Joe Burrow, and was about it. That changed the way I thought about everything. I was immediately mad because everybody come in here and want a 5-year program. Hey, look, I'm not giving you a 5-year program. You better learn on them 3 years. You better learn on the run. Come on now. Shoot, when you go to, listen, when you might have an accident and wet yourself when you're a young kid and you're in the fourth grade, in the second grade. But by the time you get to the 5th grade, we expect some progression. We might have to tell your mom and dad, listen, he low key about in 6th grade. He can't be doing that. He can't be doing that. Tommy Pinkston, 201 people, and that's a shout out. That's a testament to y'all real folks, man. I want to thank y'all. 205-6 people in here, and it's 11:15 at night. It's 11:15 at night, and I don't got no graphics. I don't got no thumbnail. I don't got none of that. This is how I know the pulse of the Browns be a different way. That Cats is not comfortable. 205 people in here. You got work tomorrow. Tommy, we can't go into the season with this group of receivers. Tell me how Schwartz is still on this team. It's been 3 years and dudes still can't catch. And that's the guy that at AB we trust. Like I can't come on here and want a receiver, and this is what we talking about. Boy, y'all better stop. Y'all better quit playing. McCole Hartman should have already been on the squad. That would have been the first move to make right there. What? He checks all the boxes. He can run. He's a scat dude. He's been in a winning program. He's been in exotic offenses. He can move vertically. He should have been on the team, and he ain't asking for no crazy money. What you waiting for? Richie Hart, I do feel you, G. Bush, though. I'm very tired of waiting. I've been over. By the way, that's a very nice picture, Richie. You better use that somewhere, brother. You better. Is that your LinkedIn profile? Damn, that's a really good picture. Is that a drawing? It looks like his facial hair is drawn. I don't know what it is. If I could reverse super chat you, Richie, I would do it. That is that messed me up. Messed me up. I need one. He is overpriced. Chill out. You would freak out if they overspend. I don't listen. No, I don't know. Let me ask you a question. If you're in a corporation and your job is on the line and you need to make a certain number of revenue or hit a certain KPM, key performance measure, in order for you to keep your job, would you be conscious of saving the organization money on incentives or higher wages or different other programs that enrich the lives and produce extra revenue by improved employer morale, improved everything? Would you go into the office and say, "Oh no, don't give me those. Don't give me all that bonus money for overtime. Don't give me none of that, because I really want to save the company some money." The company don't give a damn about you saving the money. The company has tasked you with to be successful. Who cares how much the incentive program costs? Because if your employees do not hit the goal, you will be on the street and that budget will go to another person taking your job. So I don't care nothing about their money. You better get it done. You think the Rams cared about the money? They sold their souls to get that championship. And guess what? Is it worth it? Sure. Because they got their hands on that trophy. That's what they did. Talk about Cooks and how he sucks. Give a 2 and a 3rd pick for Judy. Now we need another proven route runner. They'll tell you, Jameson, they will tell you that is not what we need to be doing, because then you would have to pay Jerry Judy. And I think we got enough right now with Njoku and DPJ. Get up out of here. Please get up out of here. Blind allegiance has become their norm. Billy Fagan, I believe. Listen, that's just not. Look, man, I always take to get in it. That's just not football. That's where we are as a society. That's where we are. Blind allegiance is, we are all on teams, whether you're on Team Christian or a Muslim, or whether you're a Team Christian or a Protestant, whether you are on Team Black or Team White, Team Democrat, Team Republican. Everybody goes to their little corner and just, even that sometimes you don't agree with what's going on in your little corner, you're not going to say anything about it or say nothing or rock the boat, because being right or wrong doesn't matter. It's all about being in the group and pecking for hierarchy in the group. You just want to be inclusive and well-liked. It's not about actual moves. There's people that just like the Browns. They like to wear their colors and go watch, whether they win or lose on Saturday and Sunday. That's cool. But at the end of the day, they're not really crazy. They're not really going to jump up and down. They say, "Oh, it's always next year." Well, that's not my fan base. That's not the people who listen to the barbershop. That's not the people that come up in here every single day and do what we do. That ain't us. Now, it's a place on the bandwagon for everybody. We got a really big tent. And I'm not telling you got to think like me, act like me, or do none of that. But let me just tell you, over this way, we ain't doing that. We die hard about the game, bro. Does anyone have a silence issue? Just me? That might be me. Might be me. G. Bush, you just said Saturday that the Browns couldn't sit their starting quarterback. I'm confused by that. What do you mean, G. Bush? You said Saturday the Browns couldn't sit their starting quarterback. I don't know what that means. Tap back in and we'll talk about it. Christian Thompson says it's simple. The last 6 games from Watson wasn't enough to go into the next season confident that that Watson is gonna be back. That Watson is gonna go back to his 2020 self immediately. You can't afford not to surround him with the weapons. That is the point. That is the dopest part. You cannot afford to put people around this guy. I mean, look at the climate in the AFC. Look at it. The Chiefs, the Bengals, the Chargers, the Bills. Heck, the Jets got the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. They already beat you at your house last year, and they're getting Aaron Rodgers. Jacksonville went to the playoffs last year. Tennessee is always battling to go to the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? I'm just kicking facts, bro. When you name QB1, you have protections. It's protected by the players union. I don't know what that. We gonna see. Baker should have been gone the second they lost to the Ravens, being gifted like 5 extra possessions. That game makes me sick too. And this wasn't even supposed to be a Baker Mayfield type joint. This wasn't even a Baker Mayfield jump on Baker type thing. Like, that wasn't it. What I'm just trying to prove to y'all is this, man. When people saying trust in AB, trust in this, trust in that, listen, don't trust me. Don't blindly listen to what I'm saying. Y'all can disagree with what I'm doing. That's the difference between me and these other dudes. You don't have to have blind allegiance to be in the barbershop. You don't have to have a blind allegiance to listen to the show, because I challenge you, and I'm appreciative when you come with your own mentality and your own facts and your own energy, and then we can have a debate about it back and forth and go about our way. So when I say I don't do blind allegiance, I don't even advocate blind allegiance to people who listen to me, because I'm wrong and fallible just like y'all. Sometimes. My track record pretty good. I'll be at 85% though. It's kind of tough. Keith, we will be 2-5 and Stefanski will be fired. Barry, Depot, and Stefanski need to be gone. I hope to goodness we don't go 2-5, Keith, because that wasn't the premise of this blog. I was just saying, Andrew Barry, I like what you've done so far, but I need some receivers. All it is a little pep talk. All it is saying, look, you're doing good. Finish your job. 237 people in here. You guys are all over the place. If you're on YouTube, if you everywhere, hit the like button, man. I appreciate you. Subscribe to the barbershop. You never know when I come on. I just did Clippers, man. They had $33 billion in cap space, didn't use it. They didn't want to win last season knowing Watson was done for 11 games. Facts. That's why I call it the gentleman's punt. Gentleman punt. They knew exactly what they was doing. Let's see. Let me see what we got. Hey, I hope G. Bush brings that energy to the show tomorrow. You know I'm already on him. I'm going to let you know right now. They probably sleep. Adam the Bull probably sleep. Jay Crawford sleep. I don't know what McNuggets is doing and Tyvis is doing either, but they might be on the internet. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. They might see it later on. We not having it tomorrow. I'm going to just let you know that right now. And I'm not even being reactional here. What I'm saying is this. Get it done. Get it. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what kind of sorcery of the cap you got to pull, but get it done. That's all I'm saying. I ain't forget about those super chats. Thanks for the late night rant, G. You're killing an ultimate your social, by the way. You have my dream career. Live it up. Hey, Daniel, let me tell you this. You can make it out. It ain't got to be no just dream. You can get it. I started just like you. I used to watch Bruce Drennan on my couch. I listened to the BSK. Every dude that I've talked to, I used to listen to and watch. Every coworker I did. The only difference between a dream and reality is putting them footsteps one after another. And it took me a while, and I'm still here, right? Because I got a passion for it. I'm in here, and it's 11:26, and I'm still gonna give them that heat tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? But you could do it too. Keep grinding. Keith said Barry never gets fired. No team would want to make him their GM, not a chance. See, I thought I was decent on Barry. My man, P. Rothstein 216. Thank you so much, my brother, for the super chat. Other than Amari Cooper, what good trade have we made in the last 15 years? I'll wait. Keep cooking, G. Bush. You know what, Pete? I'm gonna give you something. Not only have they not gotten a receiver in the last 15 years that they traded for, they've whiffed on every receiver that they've gotten. And they've never developed a receiver to be a star in the last 30 years. We talk about it. We had Joe Jurevicius. We brought in Hartline. We done brought in Miles. What's the name? The dude, I forgot about him. He was from the Cowboys. We done brought in all these Dwayne Bowes of the world. We had, the only guy we really had was your boy Josh Gordon, and he flamed out. Other than that, we haven't developed any receivers and done anything like that. We just haven't. Ain't been a thing. We'll make a will. I just hope we don't outsmart ourselves again this upcoming season, because we're good for that. We be in Stefanski and Andrew Barry. I just want to see the level of urgency. And, the funny thing to me, people don't want DeAndre Hopkins. They don't want none of these dudes, man. And it confuses me. I just want to know why. And by the way, Brian Ryder, I agree with you. I don't think Denver wants to trade Jerry Jeudy. To be truthful, it's like when your house is on the market, right? So say, for instance, the market is up and it's a buyer's market, and you a seller's market. And you got a house, you weren't never really thinking about moving. You weren't never thinking about moving down the street or nothing. But then you and your wife are driving in the car and you see your neighbor. He's got a for sale sign up and he says sold. So you get on Zillow or whatever realtor app you get on and you say, I'm curious, how much she sell this for? How much she get for this? You like, he got what? He got what for that? So what you do, you turn around, you get in there and you find you a realtor, right? Because you're like, well, shoot, if I can get that, I can upgrade and move up out of here. I thought I wasn't going to move at first, and then what you do? You go over there and get your realtor, right? So you can sell the house at that level. So I don't think that they're trying to get Jerry Jeudy away, but if they can get something on a humbug, we weren't going to trade him, but make us an offer you can't refuse. We'll give him to you. So for me, I don't even think that was even viable. If he can make the move, I'll come back and raise my hand and say, shout out to Andrew Barry for getting the deal done that I think you could do. But if it's in my mind, I already thought that, well, it might be an uphill battle to get Jeudy, right? I thought, okay, well, we might not be able to get DeAndre Hopkins. They might think like, okay, that's not going to work. Maybe he goes to New England or something for a trade. So now when I see Brandin Cooks go off the board, I'm like, well, dog, for how much they got for him? So now I'm looking around, and the funny thing about it is Odell Beckham Jr., who I thought was the biggest long shot in the history of the game, is now looking like it's becoming more and more viable because the landing spot for OBJ was supposed to be Dallas. He was supposed to be in Dallas. And now his market did dried up. See what I'm saying? And so now we sitting here looking at each other at your old girlfriend at the end of the night, and it's 2:45, it's 1:45, and you happen to bump into her, and she done broke up with her boyfriend, and you done broke up with your girlfriend, and all of a sudden you're looking at each other, you're like, well, I mean, it ain't like I ain't been here before. Man, listen, let me read a couple more. I'm going to get y'all up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody in here. 2:30, hit the like button for me. The Browns have the talent to win it all, but they don't have the coaches to coach against a Reed, a Harbaugh, Tomlin, McDermott, Taylor, McDaniel, etc. So Stefanski good enough to coach those coaches in a tight AFC championship game. And a lot of what I'm doing, I'm just reading the tea leaves, guys. I'm not really, I'm going by what I see in the playoffs. When I watch Kansas City and I watch Philadelphia and I watch the Giants and I watch these teams, I'm watching it from a standpoint of saying, I want my team to go to the Super Bowl. And I think there's a lot of people that say, I just want my team to be competitive. I just want my team to make the playoffs. I just want my team to have some stability. And so when I talk and people listen, sometimes we got two different plans and tracks that we trying to get to. So when I watch those teams, I go back and look at what we have and say, how would we match up against the elite teams and where will we be deficient at? Well, if you look at our team and the league you have to play in, you're going to have to beat the Bills, the Bengals, or the Chiefs. You're going to have to probably beat 2 out of 3 of those to even get to the Super Bowl. So when you're looking at your offense and you're saying, okay, where do they have the advantage? You got to see Stephon Diggs. You got to see Gabriel. And the Bills are still looking for some more receivers. You already know what the Bengals got, and you know what Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and them boys do. So it's just not good enough to say. That's why it's crazy and backwards when people telling me about the defensive linemen they brought in. Like, what that got to do with stopping or putting points up to keep up with Patrick Mahomes? Where, you think that's a charity speech you've given me? You set yourself up to be like, oh, it's always next year. That's what it is. That's what it is. Why you keep mentioning Jaguars like we didn't do the same thing from 2019 to 2020? Listen, English Jackson, let me just put it to you like this. How many times have the Browns been into the AFC Championship since 1999? I'll wait. Do you know the Jacksonville Jaguars in their second or third year as an expansion team went to the AFC Championship game? Do you know as an expansion team coming into the league that the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Panthers have won more than the Cleveland Browns? Even the Texans have gone and have more playoff wins than the Browns. So when you say we did the same thing from 2019 to 2020, it is not the same thing, my brother, because they have been expansion teams and have gotten further than you are, and you've had time after time after time to try to get it together. Oh, and by the way, those teams didn't go 1-31 in the year over a 2-year stretch. So no, it's not the same. It's not even in the same stratosphere. And if you want to say whose organization had more talent last year, I guarantee the Cleveland Browns had more talent and they finished in last place. That's why the urgency is where it is, my brother. Y'all silly on here. AB doing a good job. Quincy don't agree with you, G. You sound silly right now. Well, that's fine. Quincy ain't got to agree with me. AB doing, I mean, look, you can say AB doing a good job. He's doing a decent job of stocking the roster today, but that ain't got nothing to do with what you still need to get done. See, I serve a purpose in the culture. My purpose is I'm going to remind you before we get there. Quincy serves a purpose in the culture. A lot of people do. I'm going to remind you of what you need to get done. That's what I do. I don't drink the Kool-Aid every off season and then come back do the same thing. We need to be learning, right? We need to be learning. I had some people tell me, "Hey, brother, you too hard on Hugh Jackson." Brother, you too hard on what's the name? Joe Woods. Lean up. Stop. I call it like I see it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see what we got. What we got in here? Oh, okay. Well, calm down, big dog. They're gonna get a receiver, and you know they is. That's the crazy part. You know they're gonna get one. I've been this way my whole life, man. You know what? I never liked English. You know what I like? They never liked English. I'm gonna tell you what. I never liked when I was younger. My mom used to tell me, if you get straight A's, then we'll see about getting you these Jordans. You know why I never liked that? Because when you're a child and your mom tells you to do something, there's finite amount of directions on that. She says, clean your room before your dad gets home. She says, cut that grass before you go do any other stuff. She also says, go in there and get your brother's homework and go over the homework with him before you get on that telephone and talk to them girls. Do you see how there's time frames and expectations, right? So my problem was, you telling me you want me to go to school to get straight A's or be on the honor roll, that's 9 weeks. So for 9 weeks, I know I got to bust my tail. And that's a time frame. So when it comes to getting the Jordans, I feel the contract is this. I did my part. I live by your rules. So you should abide by the same thing and not tell me, well, we gonna see. No, why so wait till we gonna see? I've delivered my part of the bargain. See, that's the thing, same thing about Andrew Berry. Right? Yeah, you do want to go in here and you are going to get some receivers, but we need to know when and why, because they moving off the board. And guess what? They don't stay on there at all times, right? I always love hearing some true G. Bush. The lack of urgency is alarming with our receiver group. Even after Tomlinson, this free agency period has been underwhelming to say the least. We still don't got a linebacker. Do we got a linebacker? Are you against getting Hunter Renfrow? Heck no. Are you with them dudes on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show the other day? Go get Hunter Renfrow. He played with Deshaun. He's open. Had a great year the year before last year before he was hurt. Go get it done. Get it done. Let me get a couple more of these. Stefanski lost multiple games in his adjustments play calling last year. Not only is AB horrible, Stefanski should have been fired last season. I'm not even going to go that route. I wouldn't have said that they should have fired him. I thought he could come back this year, and I think AB has done a decent job of doing what he's doing. My goal is y'all gonna have to get this thing together. Hey, I'm letting y'all know. Y'all come back and tell me if we can get no receivers in a couple days. Let me see what this is. What the Browns need to do is like the Chiefs did for Patrick. Have 6 receiver around Watson to spread the ball around. Watson's that kind of QB that can make receivers better. I agree with that. The career coach says it takes 2 to work out this trade. Yes, some GM told them to not tackle versus ATL. Tell them to blow a 14-point lead at 130. Players could have gotten it done. By the way, I do got a video coming up with that too. Yeah, they're not off the hook for that. You know, the players they had, but I will say this. I mean, he did know they was kind of lacking back then. They wasn't that good back then. They wasn't that good. Man, it's a lot of people, man. Mel L. Listened to Friday Night 92.3 and heard how Deshaun Watson wasn't Rodgers and had no pull or say so. It was stated the tight end from Houston was all he was getting. He's the only one safe. He has the power if he wields it. I agree. He better figure it out, because I tell you what, they coming after you if you don't get it done, dog. As always, man, I appreciate you guys for stepping up. I appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure you check out the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also, check out the episode of the Locked On Browns podcast. We will be talking about anybody that they sign, so we'll keep that in contact with you. Subscribe to the Barbershop YouTube page and make sure you check out the Barbershop every single Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. As always, it's your boy G. Bush, and you never know when I'm going to pull up on the internet. You never know when I'm on YouTube, and you never know I might be at a place near you. But if you want to find out what we're doing, simply listen for the Clippers. Peace.